I literally realized the other day that like since literally since I left uni in December 2019, I haven't seen anyone I knew prior 2020. Like this whole last year, I've only been new people. Like outside of my family. It's really weird. I haven't seen any friends from before.
You're making me realize that's the same for me, and I didn't know that.
It's weird.
That's freaky because I moved country and then only met new people now. And but the cool thing is that I don't know about you, but like we've stayed in touch somehow through Messenger, and haven't seen each other, but still managed to keep that thread of like connection. I kind of did the same with other people, and so even the pandemic has made it like I talk to some people more than I ever would. And it stayed that way. It's kind of nice. Although, not seen them. Yeah. Which is strange.
No, it's a bit weird. It's going to be weird seeing people again, I feel.
It'll be weird working in the woods.
It's going to be really weird. It's going to be weird working in the woods. But what's going to be really weird is hugging the people I've met over the last year. There's so many friendships I have now where it's just been like, elbow. Like there's been no hugging.
Oh, you've been strict about that. It's going to
be weird.
I can't help but do the hugging.
I sort of let other people decide, like, where the boundary is. I have some friends who will just be like, oh, fuck it, just give me a hug.
Yeah.
But other people are very much like arm's length. So I sort of let other people decide. But there's definitely friends I have who haven't, like, hugged anyone for, like, a year. So it's going to be weird when the pandemic, so it's just like, do we hug? Do we still do the elbow thing? What?
I think I quite like to keep the elbow. There's something cool about the elbow.
I don't like the elbow thing.
But what about a double elbow? Have you ever gone for double elbow?
I haven't done a double elbow, no. But what I think we should do...
1, 2.
I think we should start bowing like in Japan.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Very respectful.
I like that.
It's probably
better. It was really fun when I was in Japan. And everyone was just like bowing to each other all the time. Like you buy something from 7-Eleven and you just go, arigato. It's really cute.
Yeah. Well, literally just by paying for petrol and you just say, like, everyone's like this.
Yeah, you just go, arigato. Yeah.
That's well cool.
It's really cute.
Seems so over the top here. It's like if you did an English bow or a curtsy, it would seem so outrageous.
And it was so cute. Like you'd see like businessmen like saying goodbye and they'd just be like going like bobbing their heads like that, like doing little bows. It's really cute.
That's cool. Yeah, that'd be nice. I've been told I shouldn't do the hug so much because people. Yeah. Not everyone wants a hug, but I always want a hug. Yeah. So it's like some people are like, get away from me, you COVID infected potential.
How bad is it in Lithuania?
It's like 500 cases a day now, and
that's really not bad.
Is that not bad? I don't know what
we're still around 10,000 a day.
Jesus, that's so.
We've got like 10,000 a day at the moment, I think. Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, no, I think there was one point where I was like at 30,000 a day before the lockdown started. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get my head around that number. Here it's different though because the population's smaller. So for a time we were like the highest, had the highest number in Europe. Yeah. So everyone freaked out. I got COVID for a while. That was fun.
And, really?
Over Christmas Day, I got a text from the government saying, "Yeah, you got COVID. Happy Christmas." Didn't say Happy Christmas.
It should have said Happy Christmas.
Should have, yeah. Enjoy your isolated Christmas. So I had that. So it kind of got. You could kind of hear COVID getting closer. You heard of like, oh, no one's got it. You don't know anyone who's got it, and then a friend of a friend's got it, and now the friend's got it, and then they've got it, and then your colleagues got it, and then everyone's got it.
Yeah.
So it kind of got everyone. Yeah. But now it's okay.
That's good.
I
think it's going to get better now.
I hope so. You're still in England then, right? You got trapped in England?
I got trapped in England, which was really... No, because I did everything like the right way. Like I traveled like a full week before Christmas to avoid that, mad Christmas rush where like the planes would be full. Like I think there was literally 20 people on my plane when I came back for Christmas. So we all got like our own row. It was all very COVID safe. Mm-hmm. And also if you got tested 5 days after arriving back in England, you'd be able to spend Christmas with family at that point. Uh-huh. So it was also like, then if I get back in time, I'd be able to get tested and we'd be able to see family. But but then we ended up getting put into tier 4 and Christmas was just cancelled anyway. And it was just like literally 2 days after I arrived, tier 4 was brought in. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have come back. This isn't boding well.
So you had to not, you couldn't see family anyway. Just
couldn't see family anyway. Yeah.
And then got stuck.
And then like full lockdown happened, and then Italy wouldn't let people who'd been in England back into Italy.
Yeah.
And it was so annoying because like I read like it was like I was checking the updates on an hourly basis. Like I was on the website. My parents were on all the websites just trying to check and make sure that it would be okay for me to go.
Yeah.
And it said if you get tested and you have a negative test, it's negative. A negative test, you fill in this form and you have a reason to travel, you should be fine. I was like, great, because it said that work was one of like essential reasons for travel. And I was like, great, got a contract, I can get back. And I literally did everything. I got the test, which was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I was not expecting it to be that awful, but I was like literally sitting there crying when it went right up the nose. So horrible. And I was thinking like I'd also have to get tested again at the airport on arrival, and then 5 days after like being back in Rome.
Doesn't get easier.
I'd still have to quarantine for 2 weeks even after 3 negative tests.
Wow.
That's how desperate I was to get back, and I literally got to I got to the airport and I got to check in, and we stood there for like 45 minutes, like begging them to let me on the plane, but they just wouldn't let me on.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently it wasn't reason enough to travel, but I was like, this is what the government website literally said. She tried, like, to be fair, the woman at the desk tried phoning people, but like no one was answering. So that was the other thing, you can't get a hold of any of the embassies at the moment. Wow. So it was just like a case of like, I can't let you on because I haven't got the authority.
That sounds pretty unfair and like really heavy as well, because you did everything right and then you just wanted to see family. It's just bad timing. But can you get out there again? Because what's your plan, to stay out, live in Italy for a while?
No, I was going to leave in April. I was going to potentially stay longer if the season got cancelled.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like not uncertain around that. But as it stands, I still can't return to Italy at all, even for work. So they had to replace me. So it's completely done now. So.
Oh man, how long were you in Italy for?
I was there beginning of September to beginning of December.
Okay, I was trying to look for like silver lining, because the kind of main thing I think is like, well, you still managed, like somehow mid-pandemic wise, managed to get out there.
Yeah.
So you're lucky once.
Yeah.
It was kind of the same for me. I guess we might have traveled same time, because I just got to Lithuania. I was meant to be here like June or something, but couldn't travel. Had to wait like June, July, and then I just started in August instead. And then there was like that little window where I managed to get through, and then everything got locked down again. So yeah, maybe you and I got lucky. You just came back for Christmas and I didn't.
I should have just stayed for Christmas. To be fair, it was like, it would have been like a little bit depressing, you know, Christmas away from family.
Yeah.
And sort of like intruding on like another family's Christmas felt a bit weird, but I don't know, like with hindsight now, it's just like I should have just stayed like just a few days of holiday. Like at least I could have still been in Italy now, where things are relatively normal. I mean, there's still some restrictions, like there's a complete curfew at 10 p.m.
Wow.
All restaurants close at 6 p.m. But like during the day, it's fine. Museums have opened again, which is great.
How was that Italy experience? Because Italy's like a fully romantic place. I remember seeing your photos on Instagram, thinking like, you're living like the Eat, Pray, Love version of Italy.
I mean, it was crazy because like I was right in the center of Rome.
Amazing.
Like right in the historic centre. It was crazy. Like my tube station, or my metro station, was the Circus Maximus.
Wow.
So I was like, So it was like I was literally a 10-minute walk from the Colosseum.
So that's your front garden kind of thing.
That's my front garden, yeah. It was great because I lived on Aventino Hill, and at the top of the hill is one of the most famous views in Rome, which is like this little orange grove where there's this big sort of like view, and you can see St. Peter's Basilica in the distance. So that was literally my backyard. And I just sometimes go there, like when I drop the kids off at activities, I just go and sit in a little park and like read a little book or something.
It's so romantic. It's just like, it's like you either get lucky with travel, or you're quite good at it, or you're somehow like, it seems that every time you travel, and I don't know if it's really true, but it looks like you get like a really good experience. Like you seem to get this romantic experience like that. That balloon picture is amazing. And where was that balloon? Remind me, that wasn't Turkey, was it? Somewhere warm.
Cappadocia. Yeah, Cappadocia in Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, have every one of your travel experiences been like that romantic?
I was just about to say that I've had some. I haven't told you any of my funny travel stories, have I? Especially in Turkey.
Probably not. I read a post saying like the things that went wrong before it went right. So I'm guessing it's not always smooth.
Did I tell you about I got rabies Turkey?
No. How did this happen?
Hey, so we were in this seaside town. Was it Cash? I think it was Cash. Really like idyllic, like little cobbled streets, white painted houses, like super bohemian, super cute. And we went to this cafe, and so we were just sitting there having our lunch. I was eating some bread. I was saying something to someone, so I sort of just had my hand like out here with my bread, and this cat jumped up and tried to take the bread from me, and it scratched my hand.
Oh shit!
And it was in a high-risk rabies zone, and I previously thought that like they have to bite you to pass on rabies, but apparently it's also like a scratch can give you rabies, because you don't know if they might have just like licked their paw or something and then scratched you, and that would be enough to give you rabies. And this was a stray cat, so there was no way of knowing if I had rabies or not. So then we had to go on like a little adventure to go. Like luckily I had the pre-rabies vaccine. So if you get the rabies vaccine before you go, you have more time to get the follow-up vaccine. I think if you don't get the first vaccine, you have like 5 hours to get to a hospital before the symptoms set in. But I think if you do get the vaccine before, you have like, I don't know, maybe a day or something. I'm not entirely sure. So that night we were supposed to be spending. No, here's the thing. Like we were supposed to spend the next 2 to 3 nights on a boat as well. So we were going to be like out in the ocean. So we were like, okay, we need to get me to hospital before we go on this boat. Because it was like, it's going to be hard to get me medical attention if it turns out tomorrow I do have rabies. So then, because I was on a tour group. So the rest of the group went to head for the boat. And the tour guide took me on a road trip to try and find a hospital that had a vaccine. I think we went to 3 hospitals before we found one that had the vaccine, and then I also had to get a tetanus shot.
Okay, that sounds fun.
I had to get like multiple updates. I had to get multiple updates of a vaccine as well that went on for months. So like I had to get 2 vaccines in Turkey that was like a week apart, and then I had to inform Public Health England that I had been exposed to rabies. So then I had to get permission to actually return to the country.
Oh, shit.
And then I had a series of vaccines over the next few months, and it was really funny because I was living in Newcastle. I remember going to like this little doctor's surgery and going to a travel nurse, and she was like, "We're so excited to have you. We've been talking about you all week. We've been so excited. We've never had to deal with this before."
Excited to see really some funny. Rabies.
And I think, and it was really funny because it was like they said if I got a fever at any point over the next 6 months to go straight to A&E.
Wow.
Luckily I didn't get a fever at all, but it was quite funny.
I didn't realize. I guess rabies is pretty serious, right? Like it can, isn't it like if you get it, like, can it kill you, rabies? I guess it can, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like first there's like the fever stage. There might be another, I don't know. I think there's a symptomless stage. And then when you get to a fever stage, that's when like shit gets real. Like, because I know how they treat it is really horrible. Like they do like massive shots straight into your gut, and apparently it's like insanely painful and makes you really sick, and it's really horrible. And that's basically the only way they can save you from it. Because the third stage is the coma stage, and I think only 4 people have survived the coma stage. That's mad. Just all from that one little cat moment, you could have gone through so much stuff. So, you know, I might not have had it at all, but I was like, you want to get the shot before you have to get the shot. It's quite a funny thing to be brought down by a stray cat. It's not like it was a snake or just like a little scratch because it wanted my bread. It wasn't like even attacking me. It just wanted my bread. Oh yeah, that was funny. But that wasn't even the only thing that went wrong in Turkey. Like on my first day, I was in a terror scare.
Oh wow! What the hell?
Yeah. No, I remember I just arrived at the hotel, and I went out to get some lunch. The tour started. Yeah, we were meeting up for the tour in the evening. And the hotel was right next to this big train station, and it was like this little handy back entrance to the train station that was next to my hotel. So I went through the train station, went out onto the main street, went to a restaurant, had some lunch, decided to take the shortcut back. So I was going back through the train station to get through the back exit, and then suddenly there was this loud noise, and then suddenly someone started shouting, and then suddenly everyone started running towards the exit.
She's like a zombie film or something.
Yeah, and it was like, because here's the thing, like, they were running the opposite way from the trains. Like, the trains was near the back near the back exit, and the entrance was like this way, and everyone who'd been going that way was suddenly going this way.
God damn, what was going through your mind?
I
Did you freeze?
I just was like, nope. I was just like, that's the only merit. I was just like, nope, and I just ran. I bolted. I've never run that fast in my entire life. It was like an out-of-body experience.
Wow, like instinct kicked in or something.
It was just like fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
It was crazy because it's like literally, I don't even know what happened, but like literally everyone was like grabbing people's hands and like running.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah, that was hands down the scariest moment of my life.
Wow. Like, yeah, like you didn't know why. What happened after that? Like you ran, everyone like stopped eventually?
I just ran. And here's the thing, like people started gathering at the entrance who weren't in the train station trying to peer and see what was happening.
Yeah.
And I remember I was the first one. I was just like elbowing people out of my way. I was just like, no, this isn't going to happen to me.
I was like, every woman like, for themselves.
Yeah. No, it was just like, it was crowded because it was like right in the middle of Istanbul. It was like the streets were jam-packed. And I was just like pushing everyone out of my way. And I just like end up having to do this big loop because like my hotel was next to the train station. So I was just like, where do I go?
Yeah.
So I just had to do this massive loop around all the streets, and eventually found my way back to the hotel, and everything was calm and back to normal again. So I have no idea what happened.
You never found out on the news?
Never found out. I asked my tour guide. He had no idea what I was talking about.
Wow, that's pretty freaky.
Yeah.
It's strange
being. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me hearing a loud sound and just me running. It was literally everyone in the train station was running.
Well, maybe it would be a case like, what if one person started running?
Yeah.
And started grabbing people, you might be. It might be nothing at all. It just might have just been some stupid thing.
But it was like there was this loud sound and then someone shouting.
Yeah.
And so it's like the thing, I don't know the language, so they could have been shouting anything.
Yeah.
But everyone else seemed to think it was a reason to worry.
Yeah, I guess, the fight or flight or the human thing kicks in, tells you it's not just like, this is serious.
Yeah.
It's weird being in a foreign country and then some like alert happens. Like I got an alert on my phone the other day that I don't know if it was on English news, but there was like that pollution cloud above Europe. Right, from Sahara or something. So everyone's phone in Lithuania went off saying, oh, there's a pollution cloud outside. Don't go outside your house for like a week. Mm-hmm. And it's all in Lithuanian, and you're like, what the hell do you mean don't go outside? What's a pollution cloud? And like, it's not like I can check the news. Like, can I not breathe the air now? What's going to happen? It's completely
the end of the world, basically.
Yeah. You're just kind of like looking out the window, like, is everyone else going out? And it's like, it's so weird.
You're just trying to get people to stay at home.
Yeah, maybe that's a good way to get the numbers down a bit. And where else, like, I want to know like the list of countries you travel now, because I know it's like, is it India as well? Did you go to India?
India, yeah. My top 3 are India, Morocco, and Japan. Those are.
Oh yeah, of course you went to Japan pretty recently. Why are they in that order?
No particular. It sort of changes on a daily basis which one is like the one. So in no particular order.
I'm curious, like, where's the first place you traveled as well, like that you consider traveling? Because it's a holiday and then there's travel, right?
Yeah, I think the first time I like really traveled, like growing up, we never really did anything that adventurous. Like it would be mostly to visit family in Holland.
Right.
Maybe in the school holidays we'd go off to Greece or something every now and again. It was mostly Holland, but it was never anything beyond like, your typical European beach holiday or something.
Yeah, same.
But then when I was 14, my school did this annual trip to China,
Wow.
That would happen every 2 years, and it'd be split over 2 year groups. And I signed on to that. And I mean, to be fair, I spent the entire time sick because I got food poisoning the first night. Which wasn't that fun, but that was like the first proper trip I did.
So that, I wonder if it's the same. Like I consider like I'm traveling now, although I'm living abroad. It's kind of like traveling. And I did the same, like just lots of holidays in England, like canal boat holidays and kind of these quite sedentary English holidays. And I think maybe the reason I like living abroad now is because I never did that travel when I was young. And so I wonder if it's the same for you, or was it like when you went to China, like you got this kind of bug for seeing something else?
It was definitely just like, because I'd never been outside of Europe. Like I think before then I'd only been to like France, Holland, Greece, a couple other places in Europe, but all relatively sort of samey. No offense, Europe.
You're all the same.
I mean, it's just like I sort of have a love-hate relationship with Europe. Like sometimes it's just like, because I love Europe, and there's like specific places in Europe that I really, really love. But then there's just places like I went to Copenhagen, and I was just like, I could be anywhere in Europe right now.
I wonder, is it because it feels like too Western, or would like capitals all feel the same?
Maybe, I don't know, but then again, like I absolutely love Paris and Rome. Like Paris and Rome are like 2 of my favorite cities. I don't know, Copenhagen is just like, I could be anywhere in Europe right now, a few cathedrals, nice cobbled streets, cozy cafes,
It's interesting. I never traveled enough like to have an opinion on Europe like that. Like, I went to France as a kid and a bit of Spain and things like this, but I wonder like what I like about Lithuania so much. It's kind of like, it's similar in so many ways, but just different enough. But maybe you've traveled enough in Europe to like to really like respect the differences. Like Paris is quite a romantic thing, and so is Rome.
I love Paris. It's just like I love those cities that you can't mistake for any other city.
Exactly, right.
Like you can't find Rome anywhere outside of Rome. There's no other Paris. Like when you're in Paris, you're in Paris.
People in Copenhagen would be like, what the hell? The Copenhagen's like Copenhagen.
Copenhagen's expensive as well. It's like, if you're going to be expensive, at least be something really unique. Like I remember, because I was just like a uni trip, so I was like, because I went to one of the societies with university, and it was just like, so we were doing like proper like backpacker, cheap hostel, cheap drinks, food. And it was still like, I feel like I spent more money in Copenhagen than I did in India.
Wow. Okay, what's the difference between like going, like Europe, because it's kind of like similar in its culture, right? But then somewhere like India is like totally intimidating place in my mind. And even China, like how do you even connect to that kind of culture? What's it feel like to dive in that?
But like both times, like with China I went with school, and India I went with a tour group. It's sort of like my go-to, especially like as a woman traveling to certain countries like India. It's sort of like I feel like I could now go to India by myself, but I feel like I wouldn't have been able to make that decision if I hadn't been already with like a tour group and a tour guide. Because now I know sort of like which areas I feel safe in and which ones I would be like not going alone. Like New Delhi, I would not go alone, but somewhere like, to be fair, most of Rajasthan, I could do by myself, I feel like. But I think it's also just like really good. Some people will say, oh, it's not real travel if you don't go by yourself, but just like, I've definitely felt like when traveling with a tour group, I've experienced certain parts of a culture I wouldn't necessarily be able to find or feel comfortable inserting myself in if I were alone.
There's kind of benefits to both, right?
Because when you have a tour guide, you can ask them this weird thing, I do not understand it, why? And then they'll tell you like this amazing bit of history or culture, and you sort of get to know it more. I do love traveling, and I absolutely love traveling alone, but it's also like I love having that tour guide with you when it's in such a different culture.
I guess you've done an equal amount of both now, but there's something very like, I'm into this idea of like traveling alone or living alone in a foreign place, because I lived with someone in Lithuania for a while, and it's a completely different experience. Like choosing now to come out here by myself, it's like a lot more exciting to not have anyone to ask how to do this thing, and just just the working it out yourself is the exciting bit. But yeah, but then as a woman in a completely foreign country on your own, it's kind of intimidating,
especially somewhere like India, where it doesn't have the best reputation for taking care of their women.
But what's the culture like compared to, like, did you manage to get connected to it, or is it just a case of like you're in, like, I don't know, you're about, I don't know, how do you describe, like, you're floating through it, experiencing it, and you can never understand it all. There's too much difference.
I don't know. It's almost like a little mix of both, because there'll be just moments where you feel like a complete observer, just like witnessing this absolute chaos that is India. Like, I remember this one point where we were, when we were in Delhi, we were going through old Delhi on tuk-tuks. Not tuk-tuks, we were on rickshaws. And it was, I'll send you videos of this, because it was mad. It was mad. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can't, like, it was almost like there wasn't enough space for us to be there, and yet still the traffic still somehow moves. Because there'll just be like a cow standing there, and then there's like a motorbike and some cars, and then there's just this guy taking a sledgehammer to the road and digging it up whilst everyone else is using it. And then there's this guy with like selling things, and it's just like all happening at once. It's just like, how is this allowed?
That's the reputation it's got, like, and that's the thing that's so interesting about it. It's like, it's just chaos. You know, England is like quite organized, and if something's broken, it's immediately smoothed over and fixed, and the grass is all mowed straight, and there's like there's no cows running around on the high street, you know? So India's so cool for that, like complete different thing. I just wonder what it would be like to live there. Like, could you possibly, I'm not sure I could live somewhere that's completely different. It would be challenging.
I'd like to live there for a bit. It wouldn't be a place I'd settle down in, I don't think.
Why is it top three then?
A couple of years. It just speaks to me. I just love India. Like, I absolutely love the culture, but like I do really want to live there for maybe 2-5 years. I don't know. Like, whatever ends up happening happens. I'm definitely gonna live there at some point. But just like, it's mad. It's crazy. Like, I cannot grow old in that country. You know?
No, probably not well looked after. But you never know. You know, I guess it'd be interesting if that 2 years turns into like something longer. Like, what's the longest you lived abroad then?
I've only lived abroad in Rome, so it was only a few months.
First time.
That was my first time living abroad.
Yeah. And then what's next? What are you gonna pick another place? You don't know?
Oh, let's see when the world opens up first.
Yeah, we're having this conversation at the wrong time. Oh, where should we travel? Where should we travel? You can't travel anywhere.
Where should we go? I'm not allowed to leave. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the season, and then we'll see what happens after the season. So I'm just taking it all like a month at a time. That's
pretty wise. I feel pretty fortunate to be able to work at the moment, and I don't know if it's Lithuania or just at my school. It's a lot of freedom. They're like, no one's wearing masks. Everyone's just working like normal. It's amazing that I've got through most of this pandemic without not working. So that's nice. But what's happening for season then? Because is it wilderness that's on?
No, it should be a full season. But again, we still need proper government approval. Like, because I think schools are back tomorrow.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so that's a good sign. Hopefully, they stay in school this time.
Yeah.
But I think we still need confirmation as to whether or not they can do residential trips.
You would think if they're allowed in school, then they can do residential trips.
Yeah. So just waiting on that little bit of confirmation, but it sounds like it's go. And they've come up with like all sorts of ideas. Otherwise, like, I think they're organizing for like families to be able to come.
That sounds weird.
And I think they're good to go for just like day camps as well. So it might just be day camps or whatever. But it seems like something will happen, which is good at least.
When we're talking about the potential of going back to bushcraft, or talking about, it's super exciting. I don't know how you feel about. Yeah. You get that? I get that kind of, it's gonna be an exciting feeling.
Go back home.
Yeah, and I've only done one season there, but you've done how many?
3.
That's quite a lot. And then, but then you were going there as a kid.
I went as a kid. Like, it's been in my life 10, 11 years now.
Holy shit! So wait, you went year after year as a kid?
Not every. I mean, there was a period of 5 years where I went at least once every year. There was a couple years where I went like 3 times in 1 year. Yeah.
Every time. Wow, you know it so well.
I mean, there's one time when they did mountaineering as well when we went to Snowdonia.
Yeah.
But I only did that once, and I think that was the year I went to Cornbury twice after.
That's amazing.
And then I did like work experience. See, I think there was only like 1, maybe 2 years where I didn't go, where like during A levels when I was too old to go as a kid anymore, but too busy to go as work experience.
I wonder if there's anyone in who we worked with that's been there that many times, or is that connected to it?
I don't know. I mean, there's a fair few now of us who came as kids, but I don't know if anyone came 3 times in 1 year like I did. That's
quite intense. 3 times in 1 year. Did you not get bored? Like, you turn up and you like,
no,
I'm doing the same
No,
routine.
I loved it. It was because that's thing, like, my family is not outdoorsy at all. So it'd be like the only time I would get out into nature was the only time I could go camping. Yeah. And I got to know the tribe leaders really, really well.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, there was a couple guys who I saw like every single time.
Yeah.
And it was really cute and wholesome. Because I was totally their favorites as well.
Of course, yeah.
Like, obviously, like, they loved me. It was great.
Oh, Susanna's back, yeah.
Like, no, it was really sweet because there was this one guy who I'd been in his tribe twice before the trip to Snowdonia, and he was on the school trip to Snowdonia, and it was actually really, really sweet because I was getting pretty badly bullied at that time. Like, I was not a happy kid at school. And like, my tribe was full of people that I did not get along with at all, but he was my tribe leader, and I'm fairly confident that he specifically chose the tribe because it had my name on it.
Oh, of course he did. Yeah.
I'm like, we know how it is. We always read the lists before. We always read the lists before. So I'm fairly confident that he specifically chose that tribe because it was one that had me in it.
Yeah.
And he just like, I know, he sort of like gave me like extra attention throughout the whole time. Like, whenever we had to pair off, no one wanted to pair up with me, so like I'd always be his buddy on things. And there's like one day, like when we were hiking Snowdonia, he just carried my bag for me the whole time. Like, I was just straight up his favorite.
It must feel pretty good.
Yeah. No, it was actually really funny because there was one night where we did wild camping, and it would be like, because it was my whole year group, but we all split off into like our tribes, and we teamed up with another tribe, so it would be like smaller groups for wild camping. And again, it was just like I did not get along with anyone in that group, so I would just spend like the whole night just sitting there by myself. So the tribe leader just came and like hanged out with me the whole evening. But then like started raining, so then I just went to sleep at like 7 p.m. I was that like miserable a child. But then it was really funny because then at 3 a.m. The 2 tribe leaders started shouting at us all to wake up.
Yeah.
And it turned out our campsite was flooding because we had camped next to like a little stream.
Oh wow. Good planning.
So we had to wake up and escape. I know, it's quite impressive, that bit of that stupid about where we pitched the tent, especially because they knew that it was going to be heavy rain that night. But yeah, that was funny because we had to get up at 3 a.m. Move the tents around. And then just wait till it was sunny enough, till the sun had risen, so we could leave.
Isn't that funny? Like, you remember that?
Like this.
You remember that as a kind of a cool thing that happened, even though for the tribe leaders it's probably like they're freaking out, like, oh no, we've done a bad thing.
100%. Like, imagine if we were in that position, Pete, like you and me up a mountain with a bunch of kids.
Oh no!
And then everything flooded.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
You'd be freaking out, like, oh no, we screwed up. We're gonna lose some kids, and
yeah.
But then the kids probably think, well, probably not all of them thought it was awesome, but like, yeah, you think it's like a memory that's stuck with you now. So like the things that go wrong aren't always bad.
Yeah, I think they tried phoning for rescue services. Because they have like rescue teams that come down in helicopters. We couldn't get a hold of them. There wasn't enough signal to get.
Wow, imagine how.
Yeah, so it was like really.
They'd be freaking out.
Yeah. But like even during that whole time, like I remember him taking like extra like care to make sure I was doing okay. Like he'd always come and check on me. Nice. He gave me an extra raincoat that he had spare. Nice. Like it was really cute. I was so his favorite.
This is a proper nice memory as well. I think like if you're not having a good time at school, like Bushcraft can be like a super nice thing to look forward to. And I guess it gave a lot of, at least in that place, you had like safety, confidence. You knew what, you knew, you like the veteran, you knew where to go, what to do. That's cool. Yeah. It's a cool thing. And then to work there, that first season must have been pretty surreal. Like I'm actually teaching.
Especially because it's quite funny because one of the guys, you weren't around, but there was this guy called Stefan who was one of the upper management now. Not anymore, obviously he left after my first season, but he was upper management by the time I applied for the job. And it was really funny because I turned up on the assessment day and I saw him there.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen him in a few years, so I wasn't sure if he'd remember me. So I went up to him and was like, hi, you probably don't remember me. Turned out he completely remembered me.
Cool.
And he was really happy that I was there. And then it was really funny because then he was doing like the whole, everyone sits down, they start doing an introductory speech, and he just like points at me and was like, and we have Susanna here who came as a kid and is going to be the first kid who becomes a staff member. It was
awesome.
Really funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess there's a point where like if the Bushcraft company hasn't been running that long, you literally the first kid who became a staff member?
Apparently, yeah. That's what Stefan said, yeah.
You should get like a medal for that, like a little badge or something. Or a different coloured t-shirt, with a star on the front or something. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't want to work for for management or find a way to like stay connected with it or is it?
I don't know, I just like being a tribe leader,
Yeah. I was thinking I can't remember.
You get the fun without the responsibility.
It really is like the best bit because I was considering being I think last year I was going to be a camp leader if the season had run or if I hadn't made another plan to move here.
Yeah.
But then as time went on, I was thinking, there's not much point being a camp leader because I don't think it would teach me a little bit about responsibility, but you'd lose so much of the fun of just being like at the kids' level all day.
Yeah.
Because camp leader, you have to disappear and like manage other things or
deal with the teachers. If something goes wrong, you have to be the one who fixes it. Like that's why I kind of like being a tribe leader. I can decide if I deal with the issue or not. Like it can be like I see an issue, I can be like, don't want to deal with this. Camp leader.
Camp leader problem. Yeah.
Camp leader problems.
Oh, it's so nice. Like, and we get to be like the entertainers as well. Like that's the fun bit. Yeah, when it's all running well.
Yeah. When it's running well.
I miss it. I think I would like to come back and do a month or something if I could get holiday. I'm actually wearing Camp Wilderness t-shirt.
I saw.
Still got it. It's kind of got some holes in now, but yeah, I'm still like excited to come back. It'd be nice to always come back. Even though I'll get older and older and everything. Camp tribe leading seems a bit like a young person's gig. I don't know how old you can be to be tribe leader. And
maybe we should make it an aim for you to be the oldest tribe leader.
I think I almost was last time, was I not?
No.
I think
Andy must have done. I think Andy tribe led a couple times.
Is he slightly? He's only slightly older, isn't he?
Still slightly older, folks.
Slightly older. Yeah, it won't take much for me to be the oldest, like doing the coconut song at 50.
Oh God, the coconut song.
I don't really into the coconut song. I guess you also know.
I've always
all
been
of
about
them.
the pirate one.
Yeah, you're good at the pirate one, but then
that great. I love the pirate one. The pirate one is my favorite. That's the only one I ever do, so it's like the only one I know like all the way through.
I think each of us have our favorites, right? Like I got into doing the Cumula Vista one. And, and then eventually, so you sort of, it's nice when you take turns, like everyone's like, and then next guy jumps in. And
and then you don't ruin your voice by doing like 10 songs by yourself.
Yeah, and it's I was never that guy who could like take the yurt for a long time, but it's weird. It's a surreal thing looking back at Bushcraft, because before Bushcraft Company, I'd never worked with children before. And I don't know if I told you that story of like when I was on Homes Light and I was going to be my first camp ever. I was going to be field cook, and the other staff had gone to get the kids, and I was there. I think I don't know if I was on my own, but and I heard the kids coming through the forest as you do. Yeah. And I was freaking out, like my heart's beating so fast. And so, oh shit, I don't know how to do this week. And then at the end of the season, I'm like, one of my big goals was like, eventually became like, I have to tell a story. That seemed like the most scary thing to do. And then so from being like, never worked with kids, don't know what to do with them, to then like telling a story to a yurt full of kids is like, the things we do at Bushcraft are pretty intimidating. They're quite brave things to do, like entertaining that many children, strangers, is
especially when you get like a little bit older. Like I feel like really young kids are easier to do. You can just like, here's the stick game or whatever, and they'll be like entertained for hours trying to figure out what the hell is going on. But when we start getting like, the 14-year-olds, when you sort of need to like work a little harder.
When they're all like wanting to go on their phone or chat up each other and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember the hardest camp I had wasn't because they were old, it's because they were inner city kids. I think they were from Peckham, and they were super naughty. They didn't know how to play any games. They didn't listen ever. They were like way too excited to be there, but their excitement turned into just like raucous naughtiness. And they was kind of used to doing what they wanted. I guess like they, be sitting in the yurt and some of them just get up and walk off. Where are you going? Super difficult week of shouting. But I don't think I ever took a older camp. That would be wilderness kind of time, right? Where they're for teenagers.
I think so.
Yeah. I would be intimidated by them. But yeah, the little ones are the most fun.
Yeah.
And, working with kids isn't as scary as I thought, because they just kind of they take you to where they want to do things.
Yeah.
And you learn a few games, and the forest does all the work.
When I trained to get my cert TESOL, that was just like you were teaching 2 adults, and most of them were older than I was, and I was just so intimidating, like standing up and being like, I am the authority in this room now. Like it was just so like there's literally like, I don't know, there was one student who was like 50 years old, or like most of them were like in their late 20s and 30s, and it was just me, and I was 21 at the time, being like, hi guys.
But then if you know what you're doing, then it's kind of I
didn't know what I was doing. No.
But you had to pretend.
I was pretending I knew what I was doing, which is easy to get away with kids.
That's the thing I realized halfway through the season is like, oh, they have no idea that I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You just stand there with a knife on your belt and like, I'm an outdoorsy guy, and I have like literally no idea.
Everything.
I have no idea.
That's why I find it so fun to just make up things to kids, because they'll just take anything you say. What my favorite ones are when they give you that look and they don't know whether to believe you or not, because they're kind of like, this doesn't sound real, so I shouldn't believe you. Well, you're a grown-up, and grown-ups don't lie. It's like that look when you see they're trying to like balance these 2 thoughts in their head.
So grown-ups usually responsible, but he's telling me that
they know everything.
He's telling me that like Reggie was born in the woods and we found him and invited him to work for us. Or there's drop bears that kind of landed in the head.
Drop bears. No, there was one camp where I convinced a bunch of kids that I'd always lived in the forest. I've never left the forest ever. I've always been there. I was born there. I spent my whole life there. I don't know anything that goes on in the outside world. And they were just like, but do you know about Brexit? And I was like, Brexit? What's Brexit?
What's the Brexit?
And then they started trying to explain to me like current politics. And it was so funny because I was just sitting there like acting like I didn't know anything. They were like, we're leaving the EU. And I was like, I don't know what the EU is. It's like, bear in mind, I voted in Brexit. I voted. I know way more about it than they do.
It's amazing. They just go along with it as well. Like you could get quite far with it until it gets so ridiculous that then they give you that look. My favorite look was that one, and then it still is my favorite look when you can get a child, 7, 8, 9, even the ones I work with now, 5, to look like they're disappointed in you because you're being so stupid. You're being so ridiculous.
They're like, I'm more mature than you are right now.
So it became like like a habit, or like just a plan to, like, I need to get that look, and like, what can I do to make this? And it's so fun with, like, especially like 4 and 5-year-olds giving you that look. We're like, I can't believe you're this much of an idiot.
Yeah.
So you're like being more immature than a 5-year-old. That's still a life goal for me.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
Yeah. And I don't know, I've also said that other thing that I found out in Bushcraft was, like, I only got unhappy when I wanted to play a game and the kids weren't playing it right. I realized I wasn't unhappy because they didn't know how to play. I got upset because I wasn't allowed to play. Like, if they were ruining the game, I'd get upset. Like, no, I wanted to play this. This wasn't really for you.
You are literally Peter Pan.
Yeah, it seems like it. Didn't want to grow up.
It's in the name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame I look older, because that would be a good trick. It's like 70 and still look 23. No one ever knew. Yeah, it's nice talking about it. It'd be amazing to go back. You definitely will?
Obviously. Come on.
Of course you will, yeah.
What sort of stupid question was that?
Yeah. So winter's traveling, summer's in the forest. Yeah. For as long as it feels good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it is.
That's quite a good plan. I think eventually, I don't know, I found it hard to trust the Bushcraft company a little bit. Like like in your situation, you work for them so much and you've got like such love and history for it, but I wonder if that's even seen. I want it to be seen. Like, the people who really love it are kind of different from the people who just turn up from college or whatever and just fill in.
I know. I guess those people end up coming and going. You know, I feel like the people who stay are the ones who really, really love it. Yeah,
but I always felt like when we were working and we were on camp, like, the thing that bonded us together, and like, the staff bond was amazing, was like, that we had an understanding of what we were doing. It's like a small little world, and then the management had no idea, kind of thing. It was like, they may make this whole thing happen, but actually we know what it's really like. There's some kind of secret thing. So
you're making it sound very dodgy, like the secret little thing.
Secret club. Yeah, I guess so.
Little cult we have.
Getting the
worship
kids
at the shrine of the drop bears. All hail.
Around the fire, and you just got like red makeup on and fake blood and stuff. Yeah, true. Just every summer trying to make a cult out of the kids and send them off, and like,
I remember this one camp. I did this one camp with Matt, and it was so funny. Like, we took the kids to the Queen Beach, and me and Matt just started like whispering to each other, coming up with this plan, and we decided that we would do this completely in sync. We would kneel at Queen Beach and start hailing. Just be completely stern and serious, and just like worship the Queen Beach. And all the kids were like, "What is going on right now?"
Did they join you? That'd be creepy. If they just thought,
no,
should we do this?
Joined us.
I think that's what I mean. Like,
so great because
when you're on camp, you can kind of do whatever you feel like. You can be so stupid.
Yeah.
I remember doing the same kind of thing. I remember walking back to the yurt and trying to get them to all go om. So this idea of like a bunch of 7-year-olds doing that to be kind of, it would sound so cool, you know? Yeah, that freedom we got.
I miss it.
Yeah, me too. It's different working here.
Like when you had a camp of people. It was just great when you had like a camp of people who are all on the same sort of like, let's do weird things level. Yes. There's some people who get like really serious, like, it's all about the bushcraft. Let's do it like properly. And then there's just like us who are all like, let's just think of the weirdest things we can do and then do them. Like, do you remember that? I think it was like the last camp we did together, where I managed to convince all the kids that me and Luke were twins and you were our... What were you, our uncle or something? I think you were our uncle. And then they were all just arguing over whether it was true or not. And they were like, they all have dark hair and blue eyes, so obviously it's real. I was like, yeah, and bear in mind that me and Luke is like a decade older than me.
Yeah.
So obviously we are twins, and I'm the oldest twin.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, it's so fun. Like when it's a whole bunch of people like that. I think I felt that the last camp we did was the triple camp. Yes.
Yeah.
Together, so three yurts in one site, and it's a huge thing, right? So I remember thinking like a couple of people on that camp were like the bushcrafty ones.
Yeah.
But there was enough of the stupid ones like us who just kind of outnumber them.
Yeah. I feel like the best camps are the ones where you have like a mix of both. Like you want a camp leader who's willing to be like weird and silly and stuff, but who knows bushcraft and is super bushcraft and is like an endless tomb of knowledge. But then all the tribe leaders should be like the weird ones. I feel like that's the perfect balance in a camp.
Yeah, there's kind of not much place for it's ironic, right? That there's not much place for bushcraftiness in a tribe leader. All you got to do is kind of make sure they do the basics, but your main job is kind of at least to be pretty weird. Yeah. At least I thought it was.
Yeah.
And
like obviously like everyone is like a certain level of bushcrafter, you know, like we love building fires and we all know how to do all the things. But like there are some people are like who are like devoted to like the knowledge of bushcraft.
It's funny, I remember before
and
bushcraft I was freaking out thinking I bought like loads of bushcraft books and I started trying to learn loads of knots and stuff, and then you know, after the first camp I'm like, oh no, the best thing to learn is stupid songs and to like kind of throw away the book, you know.
Someone else will know the knowledge.
Yeah, there always is. There's
always someone. That's good because I feel like everyone almost has their sort of like speciality knowledges. Like some like that person will be really good at knots, and then that person will be really good at foraging. So you sort of like cover all the spaces.
Yeah.
You're working together.
It was another nice thing about that is like every week you'd work with different teams. So I remember you like trying to create the dream team.
Yeah.
And it really was like that. Oh, you get that name on your list. You're like, oh, cool. That's going to be this kind of week. And you know, you can be this kind of weird and this kind of, and then, and so a different like team can completely change the vibe. I don't know about you, but I feel pretty lucky. Like I had amazing camp leaders and pretty amazing people to work with all season.
Yeah.
I don't really remember having a bad team ever, which is really cool. But maybe that's a Cornbury thing.
Yeah, it's probably a Cornbury thing.
Maybe. But being here is different because working in kindergarten, obviously you get like kids from August till August, a whole year. So you become like you're a tribe, but you really know each other. Yeah. Like, can you imagine keeping one tribe from?
Oh, and there's some kids there's some kids that you have on camp that are just like, this tribe is like a little group of angels. Can you just stay here forever?
Yeah, can you stay?
It's always sad, like at the end of like that 5 days or whatever, when you have to send them off back home, and you kind of wish, can you just come every week?
I find it really bad now, but I can't really remember many of the children at all. I
remember a few.
You do?
Yeah.
If I really think about it, I can.
Yeah.
But it's quite hard because there's so many. That's
most of them disappear from mind as soon as like the camp is over.
Yeah.
There are certain ones. There's certain ones that stand out. Even if you don't remember their name, you remember this funny thing.
Yeah, I guess so. It'd be nice to sit and meditate and try and remember that because I haven't. You know, my life tends to be like do one thing and then move really fast, keep moving, and not look back. But it's nice to try and remember kids. But I hope like you, they remember us at least.
There's this one really awkward time where these kids remembered me from coming the year before with their school, and next year they came from Camp Wilderness, and they were like, "Oh, we were in your tribe last time," and I was like, "I've never seen you in all my life." I felt so bad.
Oh, that would happen in one season as well. Like there was a couple kids that like you would come for 2 camps and they're like, "Hey, Pete," and they're like, I think I met you 4 weeks ago. This guy, hey man, hey little guy.
Hey buddy.
And you're like, what's their name?
Camp Sheep, where are you?
Yeah, no chance. Yeah. Yeah, so nice. Like, but it's a weird thing. Like by the end of the week, kind of pretty much would know everyone's name in your tribe, and then gone, forgotten.
I feel like I need a 5-day to really know every tribe member's name.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a bigger tribe.
Yeah.
If I'm there for 2 days, it's just like you remember like the naughty ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still actually remember more of the naughty ones than the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But have you worked anywhere else with children? Has it always been bushcraft? Have you done any kindergarten?
It's always been bushcraft. No, just bushcraft. Bushcraft is actually sort of the only proper job I've ever had. It's just been bushcraft and this au pair work I did in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, those are the only jobs I've had. No one else wants to hire me.
That's because, like, I think if you work bushcraft too long, it's going to be very difficult to work many other types of normal job.
Yeah. To be fair, it's like I've now gone to a point where I have enough freedom in my life where I can choose like specific, like, you know, I can work in the outdoors like exclusively now. But it was like back in uni when I wanted to get just like a little mini job to get some extra cash in. I tried like applying to be a waitress. I applied for like working in bookshops. No one wanted me. It was really sad.
Well, I guess it's good that you've got that choice now. It was super weird. Like coming out of bushcraft, I literally finished a camp, and then on a Friday, and then on a Monday or Saturday, I can't remember. Really soon after, I was working in a kitchen again. I went straight to being a chef. Yeah. Like this idea of just keep on moving. So I came straight out of the forest and all that kind of stupid life we have, where everyone's really silly and into a kitchen, which, and I wasn't ready for that shift. So I just started playing games with all the staff all the time.
You were that guy. You were a weird one.
Yeah, I was super weird in that job. Kitchen's kind of good for that because you're behind the scenes and you can just act like an idiot. And as long as you kind of chopping your thing and stirring your thing, you can still like be an idiot. So I would get everyone to play like. I remember we had an amazing game of murder in the kitchen as well.
Oh, I love murder.
And just going out, it's a funny sentence to say.
I am not a murderer. Only in games.
These secrets we have on camp.
These secrets.
All that murder we played. Yeah, it's a good game. It's just and so I'd be there like trying to like play as many games as possible with the staff, and I learned like that they were really into it. And I don't know if it's just kitchen people, but I got a feeling that if you bring kind of like that bushcraft like life, that freedom that you feel to any job, like it makes people kind of happy. But I don't think I could work in anywhere too serious. I'd need to play forever now.
I could never work in an office.
You'd be trying to make it funny.
Can you imagine me in an office? I would get fired the first time I tried to weasel someone. It's been so long since I've weaseled anyone.
The performance review.
Really upsetting.
Your virtual weasel.
I wish I could have a hologram of my hand come out of the screen.
That'd be freaky. Same. From afar. I haven't introduced that to Lithuania yet. It's hard to explain.
It's also not entirely appropriate in COVID days.
No,
hugs when everyone sort of wants their space a bit,
Hugs are one thing. Yeah, ruthlessly weaseling people.
Ruthless weasel.
It's just rude. Yeah, it'd be funny though, being that office joker. Yeah, I used to have. Yeah, it was funny in the kitchen, like seeing how far you could push being stupid. Like, because kitchen was like super busy.
That can be pretty dangerous environments as well. You have like flames, knives.
It's like
boiling
service
water.
you do service and it's super stressful and busy. It'd be like Saturday night and like there's checks on the pass and there's shitloads to do and the everyone's got so much to think about. And I'd be there going, and I'd just be like, "What's your spirit animal?" Someone would be plating up something. I'd be like, "What's your spirit animal?" Or if you could be a crab or a lobster, what would you just say something dumb? And they'd be like, and I'd start looking for that response, not that one where people, where the kids look at you disappointed, but when someone or the head chef would be like, "Can you just stop now?
Just get out of the kitchen."
And I'd be like, "Oh, I won." I was stupid enough to get sort of told off by an adult.
You really are Peter Pan. Aim in life to get told off by the real grown-ups.
Yeah, in that silly way where they're laughing with you, but they're like, could you please just start trying to do a real job?
Enough.
Yeah, they're trying to be serious, but you're like, I can't take this seriously. And it's a nice way to live. But yeah, I don't think I could work with people pretending to be adults for very long.
Like, imagine sitting around all day in an office.
You could? No, you could. No.
That'd be horrible. It'd be horrible. Imagine. Just like sitting down all day at like the computer, and then you'd go and get like your tea, and then you have like a little gossip, and then you go back to your computer. Like, no. You've
never done that. That's crazy.
Fun.
It's crazy to think you've never had that kind of job, because I've had a couple of like serious jobs. First job I had out of uni was making like prosthetic limbs.
What?
Yeah, crazy job. So I used to go to work in a white lab coat.
That's crazy. What?
Yeah, it was super serious, because you got clients there who have lost an arm or leg or something, and it's not like
you can't weasel those clients.
You can't. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Taking the prosthetic arm and weasel.
Oh my god.
I would now.
You'd get fired now.
Yeah, I would get fired. Yeah, but so I had kind of serious jobs where everyone's there like, oh, we're serious like scientists, kind of doctor people. And I would be like wheezing now, or putting fake fingers in people's cups of tea or something.
That'd be a good one, actually.
Yeah, I should have stolen a couple.
Yeah.
Never be boring. But yeah, so now I'm working with kids because I don't think I can be an adult now.
No.
Yeah, it's amazing to get paid to be a kid. Is you just make sure they survive.
Work in such a beautiful place as well. Like, I'm so jealous every time you upload pictures.
It's beautiful.
Like, it looks so pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, the forest is not as pretty as Cornbury though. Like, Cornbury is so special.
Well, nothing's as pretty as Cornbury.
Probably not, right? No.
Yeah.
And the forest here is so beautiful, but it's all pine forest, so it's kind of the same, pine and birch.
Yeah.
But it's still forest and it's wild, so that's beautiful. And there's like moose living there as well. It's like super wild.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. But it's not as pretty as Cornbury.
This is the problem with Cornbury. Like, Cornbury is sort of like the first forest I ever really visited and explored, and it's one I spent by far most time. And I feel like it's lifted my expectations for forests way too high. It's just like every time I go to forest now, it's like, it's not quite as pretty as Cornbury though, is it? It's no Cornbury.
And that's crazy. Like, I'm working here and everything's awesome and beautiful, and I'm so lucky that the school is where it is, and it's a real outdoor school, and the beach is right there as well. But I'm still like, I wish it was Cornbury Forest.
Where's the Queen Beach?
Yeah, we don't have. I'm trying to look for like the special tree, and just so it shows like how special like Cornbury is.
Yeah.
I remember visiting other estates as well. Like, I went to Westdean and I was so disappointed. Like, wow.
No one likes Westdean.
But like your season could be so different if you're in a different place.
Yeah.
So Cornbury set a high level of forest.
Yeah. At some point, I'm going to get the Queen Beach tattooed on my side of my chest.
Yeah.
Someday. I need to be brave enough first to get on that ribcage.
You're going to go there? Wouldn't it make a good back one though?
I already have one on my back.
Oh.
To be fair, it's really, really small. But I sort of like having it just be about one small one on my back, So I kind of want to get like one ribcage.
That's a cool idea.
It'll be painful though.
Yeah,
but expensive.
I think, if a tattoo suited anyone, that's the one for you for sure.
Yeah.
You remember I said I went there last year, like when the season was closed, and it's such an amazing experience to have Cornbury to myself was amazing. Like almost religious experience. It's so beautiful because I'd missed it so much, and then the season was closed, and then to be there and see like where the yurt used to sit, and you could see like the mark of where the fire was still and where the tents used to be, and there was a feeling of like sitting in that, and you could still like feel the camp happening, like some kind of, imagine you're watching a film and there's like some ghost playing in front of you kind of thing, like some transparent thing. Like you could sit there in the middle and go, oh shit, that's exactly where I sat when I told that story. But now it's all wild forest. It made like the whole season seem like some kind of dream thing. But also it's amazing to just see and feel the forest for the like first time, because I don't know about you, but when I was working in it, I was always like distracted with what I had to do or worried about the kids or but so to really see it was great. And I went to see the Queen
and
Beach.
I've for a couple times during the season, like, you sometimes have those weekends when all the camps are over and everyone's just chilling on staff camp. I would sometimes just go, like, wake up early and just go on a walk, like, off in the woods, and it's just like no one, and it's all just silent, and it was great. I love those little walks. But there was this one time where I was walking back towards staff camp. I was coming up near the lake, and there was just like this massive rustling in the bracken, like this gigantic rustling in the bracken, and I was like, what kind of monster is in there to make this much like, because it was like going on for like such like a long bit. I was like, what is that big in this forest? And then suddenly 3 muntjacs jumped out and ran across the path.
Cool.
It was so cool.
It's amazing. We were so connected with it, living out there as well. And I'm considering, like, I live in a apartment at the moment, and I'm thinking of like changing the way I live to live outdoors as much as possible. So I'm thinking of buying a van and doing the Andy thing.
I really want to do the van thing.
Yeah, I can imagine this.
I really want to.
Well, if you're working,
I first need to learn how to drive.
Oh yeah,
I need to get a driving license first. But that's definitely on my list of things to do at some point.
Yeah, I bet a lot of bushcraft people would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Because like the story is like, I went to that kitchen and then I was in lockdown, and it took me a long time to like get to work outdoors again. And I was really playful and stuff, but I lost that connection with the outdoors after a while. I even lost a bit of the playfulness. Yeah. And I kind of think that we were so lucky to live outdoors as long as we did. And I'm considering choosing to live in a tent this summer, which is I'm trying to shut down that part of my head that's telling me you're like a homeless guy. But I think it's going to be a beautiful thing, because I was the most happy when I was living in a tent, which is a weird thing. It's strange to realize that. Like, something
it's what I found it so interesting is that when I would be living outdoors, I spend a lot less money on random crap. Like when I'm like living in a city, I will just be like, oh, that's a nice thing, whatever it is, whether it be a book, a dress, whatever it is, or just like some food, some snack that I don't need because I'm not hungry, but it's like, oh, that looks cool, I'll buy that anyway. Just like but when like living in the forest, I just don't spend money anymore. Like, you sort of really realize how little you actually need. Yeah,
and like there's nowhere to put anything. You can't, like, there's no point buying an ornament. You're not going to put it in your tent.
Yeah.
It's freedom in so many ways. I just miss waking up in that cold air. And you just hear the forest, the trees, everything. And there's no way to get that living in a city. You can't open your window.
No, you know what I miss? I miss sometimes I'd wake up and I'd hear you playing guitar, and that was such a chill way to wake up in the morning.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, you've actually you've stuck with my guitar playing ever since, it seems. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean to say thanks for that, because you've always been there, like, listening to everything that I throw up. So yeah. So I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a nice memory of sitting there with that guitar. I was quite secretive about it, so I play like, is anyone around? Nope. Okay, but
just Susanna sleeping.
I didn't know. I guess I knew there's probably someone listening, but that's a nice.
It's not the same thing. It's sort of like, it still feels more private, even though there's a fair chance people can hear, but everyone's just hiding in their tents.
It's a nice idea though, to like kind of play to sleeping people, or play to the forest, and yeah, that's a nice memory as well.
I miss having you as my neighbor.
Me too.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We had a good little corner there.
We did. People come and go, which is the weird thing, isn't it? Somebody see like a neighbor and then they've gone, and there's like a new patch of flat stuff. And who was that? Who's in this tent?
Because Megan was in our little corner for like a week or two.
Yeah.
Jamie was there for a big part of the season.
Yeah.
We had a good corner. We did. It was a good corner. Good people.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when Rebecca and Keanu left, like how sad it was.
Because they had such a big area. They had like a kingdom.
Yeah. And they were like,
that sort of ended up being the place where everyone would sort of gather.
Yeah.
When we'd be in staff camp.
Yeah. Oh, that was another weird thing, standing on staff camp with, you know, with the season being closed, and then walking down to the fire pit and kind of like, wow, there's such a. I realize how much we, the people, make the thing come alive, because without us it's just quite empty, kind of almost a sad place. The forest is pretty, but without us being there laughing around the fire, it's a different feeling. Now I miss it too much.
I definitely start to get that feeling towards that last week of the season when there's barely anyone left. Like there'll be maybe 10 people on staff camp, and like, I don't know, half those people will be still asleep or like out, and you just be sitting around the fire by yourself and just like, it's ending, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a kind of melancholy around the whole last bit of time. But then I remember my last camp was like the best one I had. It was like in terms of my mood, like I was in such a high the whole week. Maybe it was a feeling of like, this, I know I'm probably not going to be able to be this ridiculous again for as long as I know. So it's like I was just all out stupid that week. And trying to get rid of that feeling of, oh, it's the last one. Well, I'm going to try and come back. I think I have to. I don't know if I could not do it.
I'll defend a patch next to my tent.
Yeah, please do.
Just put up some sticks, like a skull and crossbones. Do not enter.
Reserve a patch for me. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't settle for anything but Cornbury. It would I'd just show up anyway. You know, this is my
If
spot.
they try sending me anywhere else, I'm going to be like, what are you doing? Give me Cornbury camps.
Yeah, you get to choose your camps, right? But you can never say Cornbury. Is that right? You don't get.
I mean, I say Cornbury.
Can you? Oh, I'm going to do
that. I mean, you're not supposed to, but I think that's what I did.
Yeah.
There's also like, it's by this point, like, you know, this will be my 4th season. Like, they know that I've only ever worked at Cornbury. Why would they suddenly put me somewhere else?
That's what I'm saying. Like, after some point, you should get like some privilege, like cool T-shirt, special hat. Definitely working at Cornbury, this kind of thing.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think new people get to choose their location anymore.
That sucks.
I think I've heard that because I think someone was trying to reapply for this season, and I think they accidentally went on to the new people page, and I think it was something like Southwest, Southeast, North.
Oh no!
So you sort of pick your general area. I don't think you get to pick anymore. I think it's just the returners that gets to put a preference.
But wait, you're not a returner unless you do a season after a season, right?
I mean, I think if you've done a season, after that you're a returner.
So we would be returners if we went this year. But if I missed this year, I would not.
You'd still be a returner. You'd still be a returner.
To me, I would, yeah. But
yeah.
To the company, I don't know.
I think you would.
I hope so.
Because they have all your stuff on file anyway, surely.
I hope so. Yeah.
I assume.
They should.
It'd be a bit stupid to go through the whole process again, wouldn't it? To like do the interview, do the assessment day, and then do the training.
I think there was this talk of like, because I wanted to do camp leading last year, and I looked into it and I asked some questions, and they were like, yeah, but you have to go to the assessment day again if you want a new role. Yeah, that's insane. Like the assessment day and actually that put me. I think that's one of the reasons that it put me off putting so much time into thinking about bushcraft last year. Yeah. And obviously I'm kind of glad I did, because I put time into looking for this place. Mm-hmm. But I remember feeling disappointed, like, I have to do an assessment day again.
The training is 2 weeks as well.
For what? Training?
Yeah, because you need to do you need to learn all the lectures, and you need to make sure you really, really know everything.
I guess.
And I mean, like, it'll be fun. I'm sure it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, unpaid 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I love the training as well we did that was adults playing games with other adults. Like that was a weird thing.
Yeah.
Super fun. Like that was almost one of the best bits, and I'd love to just do the tribe leader training again just for that experience.
Yeah.
Like getting people fresh out the normal world. Mm-hmm. Like, now be a monkey, be a turkey.
Chicken in a hen house.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favourite games.
I forgot about that game. Yeah.
Especially when you make other tribe leaders demonstrate the moves.
Yeah.
That's my favourite thing to make people do.
What other games am I forgetting then? So
Predator. The
Predators, yeah, that's a
Predator
good one.
is iconic.
21 we play. Splat is the car park game.
Yeah. What's the one that's like Predator but isn't Predator?
21?
I feel like I'm thinking of a different one, but I can't remember.
I don't remember.
There's a few games that are like a variety on a theme. Like,
yeah.
Hide behind this thing and try to get to this person.
It's amazing we managed to fill the week if you think about it. Like,
yeah.
Somehow managed to keep them entertained for that long.
Well, I guess there's always something that takes more time than it should. There's always something.
Yeah. But we don't really often give them much free time either. Like here at kindergarten, they kind of have a lot of free time, especially when they're younger. So, but Bushcraft is like, now do this, go here, do that. Yeah, and try and fill them up. But I do miss playing those games. Like, can't do that here. They're too young. Like kids that are 5, they don't.
Do they speak English?
No.
And you don't speak Lithuanian?
No.
How does that work?
After a while, you kind of know. Like, I know enough words to do the routine of the day.
Okay.
So I know how to tell them to put their bowls on the table, or go here, wash your hands, do this, come here, do you want this? But I don't know. Yeah, I can't have a conversation. So, like, a game's a good example. Like, if you have to explain the rules of a game, like, I have to do everything by showing everything. Okay, you stand here, and when this person does this, you have to go down like this, and then, and it's super. Yeah, I have to think everything like in this visual way, but it kind of works.
Yeah,
kind of works somehow.
How did you get that job not knowing Lithuanian?
They wanted me to speak English.
Ah.
It's a crazy situation. Like, I'm employed to speak English, even though I should speak English more than I do, because I want to learn Lithuanian, so I keep speaking Lithuanian. But like terrible Lithuanian to these. I'm teaching them really bad Lithuanian. But I got employed to sort of be their first connection with English, really. So I'm this foreign weirdo from.
Do your colleagues speak English or?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, most of them. Yeah, there's a couple who don't, but yeah, thank God.
So at least you can fall back on that.
Yeah, it'll be a
so
strange.
Like everything going wrong and everyone's speaking Lithuanian, and you're just like, what is happening?
What do I do? Yeah.
What is happening? Who's dying?
The only thing, if like a kid is crying, and they're telling you what they want, and you're like throwing a few words to them, is it this, is it that? Then that's the only time it gets rough, because you can't help them, so you have to be like, I need and then
they get frustrated because you don't understand.
They're looking past your shoulder going, where's someone who's not an idiot who can understand me?
Where's a real grown-up?
yeah I still kept that kind of my role as like English speaker, but also like because I can't talk, I'm more of like the playing one, because
that's quite fun.
Yeah, it kind of suits me. Yeah. So plan to be here a bit longer. I don't know how long. We'll see. We'll see. Get a van. Live here a while longer. Don't know. I haven't got a life goal yet.
No. That's the thing. I always feel like, should I know what I'm doing yet?
Yeah. I don't know. This is as close to knowing what I'm doing as I've been. Like, okay, I know I love being outdoors. I know I love playing, and I love working with children. So it's like, is that enough? It's a strange point to be in my life where I'm like, maybe this is enough, because I've always been like, I should do so much more. I need to be like president, and do something serious for the world. Maybe like, and then I'm like, actually, this is like super cool lifestyle. Maybe it's enough. So I'm in this weird place.
Yeah.
Nice to know. Have you still got ambitions to travel a lot?
Yeah. I feel like ideally, I'd love to be able to make a living out of writing and just writing.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Because that gives you a tremendous amount of freedom to like, as long as you meet your deadlines, you can be anywhere, spend your day doing anything. Like I could essentially, like, I don't know, go to Mexico and spend a week swimming in cenotes, and then just spend the next week, you know, writing 10,000 words or whatever, as long as you meet that deadline.
Actually, it's like the most romantic job.
Yeah.
What's this thing you do every year? Is it once a year or once this? How many words you put yourself to?
It's called NaNoWriMo. It stands for National Novel Writing Month.
Yeah.
And it takes place every November. And the challenge is to write 50,000 words over the course of November.
50,000. All right.
Yeah.
So little novelette thing.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of use that as like a starting point. Like my novels never end at 50,000 words.
No.
So it's almost like this, almost like the first half or quarter or whatever it is.
Wait, how many novels have you got?
I've completed 3. I'm now on my sort of second, third draft of a first book.
Bloody hell, that's awesome. So many. Ones that are like complete and edited that you want to give away.
They all need a hell of a lot more editing before anyone else can read them. That's why I'm sort of like digging down on that first book.
Yeah.
Because ideally I would like to start sending it to agents at some point over the next year, 2 years.
Can I ask what it's about? Is it easy to describe?
It's a high fantasy, so
cool.
It's a lot. How do I see this? This is my problem. I can't. It's like I have this like 100,000 word story.
Break it down into a paragraph. Yeah, no point.
It's basically like it's like there's this guy. See? It's a complicated world as well. It's like there's 4 worlds that are all connected.
Yes.
Very loosely connected. Most people don't know they're connected. Basically, the only people who know they're connected are the gods of each of these worlds. One of them is Earth, which is ruled by the Greek gods. Then there's Yggdrasil, which is based on Norse mythology, so it's obviously ruled by the Norse gods. And then there's 2 worlds, which I've completely made up by myself, one of which is godless. And in the world that does have a god, the god is trying to find a hero who could inherit the godless world. Cool. And that's basically the premise. But the main character is this king who really, really doesn't want to be a god. So it's basically like the whole book's about that conflict between the god and this king.
That sounds incredible. Like, so that's quite complicated, deep world you got going on there. How long have you been digging into this one?
Like literally my whole life. Like I don't remember a time where this didn't exist in my mind in some form.
Oh, cool. So you're writing this as a kid?
Yeah. I mean, I've sort of been planning. I've been filling notebooks for like ideas for the world and stuff since I was about 10 years old.
Amazing.
I wrote the first draft of the first book when I was 16.
That sounds like it's a book or a thing that's meant to happen if ever there was something that's meant to happen. It's like if you believe in that idea of maybe something being given to people, like creativity being given, and then you're the vessel, and you just have to get your ego and yourself out of the way, and then you just, it comes through you and you write. So that's been coming to you from like childhood. That's very cool.
I must have been like, I don't know, 4 years old or what? I don't know, at least like literally that young. Like that's the first, I mean, I probably had it in my mind even earlier than that, but that's the first sort of age where I really sort of like remember having it in my mind.
And that's like pure childhood inspiration, childish
so, I mean, like
inspiration.
Literally like a fair few of the characters were like imaginary friends I had as kids.
Cool.
Like it's always been in my mind.
I wonder how many people have actually written a story ever that is based on something they got given or imagined in childhood. Especially, well, probably that's true, but then it's probably quite rare to have started something that young.
Yeah.
Because it's fascinating for me to like think of, because I'm really interested in children's inspiration and working with them so much. It's like, it's amazing to see how free they are with their inspiration, and they, you know, their mind is more expanded and more intuitive, and they just do what they feel like. So these characters that have like come from your childhood are going to be quite untouched by like any idea of an adult idea. They're quite free and like,
I mean, it's definitely grown up as I've grown up. Like I think when I was 10, it was much more sort of like fairy tale-ish. But now it's especially I feel like especially in the last year it's become a lot darker. Like it's dark by this point. And that's some pretty depressing things happen.
Yeah, but don't like huge novels like Game of Thrones or there's some dark shit going on in those.
Yeah.
You write long enough, then you're going to cover a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
I mean, I don't know if anyone ever wants to publish it because it is meant to be a 10-book series, and people don't like long series for debut authors.
Yeah, but isn't there if you're into the writing world? I mean, I'm into the music world a bit. Isn't it the same with writing? Like musicians, they record an album and then they send it to, I don't know, publishers or however it works in the music industry, and they get turned down all the time. Record labels turn them down, turn them down.
Yeah.
And then these people who are now super successful in that, and you hear these stories of like that the record labels passed on them, and then they get signed because of course they're amazing, and then they're like, how could they pass on them? So it's kind of like getting, even wasn't it the same for J.K. Rowling? Like her first things weren't accepted.
She didn't actually get that rejected that many times. Like someone who isn't in like writing industry, it sounds like a lot, but I've heard people be rejected far more times than J.K. Rowling was.
But still, she was rejected.
Yeah.
It seems like rejection is probably inevitable. But it doesn't mean that it won't get published. That's the thing. So I would say it will get published. It's just a question of when. When and how. But it sounds like it's like either obsession or it's meant to be. And in that case, like if you can't stop doing it, then eventually it will happen. Yeah. And you're already lining up your lifestyle, half the year traveling.
It's also just like it's so hard to make anything a success in like creative industries because there needs to be, it's sort of like you need that sort of serendipity there. You need that perfect moment because it's like you need, well, first off, like to even sell it to a publisher, like let alone get an agent, you need to like, there needs to be that gap in the industry. They need to be like, right, we need this specific type of fantasy book. And you have to hope to God that no one else is selling like a similar book at the same time. Like imagine like, I don't know, something like Twilight, like any other vampire book that came out that year would have been like completely ignored. And it could have been like some great, amazing, like new Dracula level piece of literature, but all got forgotten about because Twilight came out that year.
That's a good point. There's probably some author there. They're going, oh God, my book, Twilight.
Because it's also just like, you need to make sure like that they're looking for what you have, and then also just hope that nothing similar is going to come out at the same time.
I like the Dave Grohl mentality of he's like, if it's good, like really good, undeniably a good thing, then it will get noticed. And so I kind of got friends who are a bit like cynical about music industry, and they're like, oh, it will always let you down and there's no way to get in anymore. But I don't know, I think if I kind of still believe in that, like if something's really good and it's really like full of heart, then obviously you have to get a platform now, which is quite different. Well, I don't know, it's maybe easier because you've got internet and you can share it in many creative ways. But then again,
it also means that there's so many more people trying to get their stuff out there.
True, but then
it's because then it's that more competitive thing.
That's true, but then at least I think the unique thing will still shine because there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, but then a lot of stuff is not got a lot of heart in it. I think people can still notice when something's like really good, like really real. And that backstory is, I think, part of the thing that will make your book more interesting, because what you wrote this from childhood imaginary characters and writing since you were 4. It's a crazy story.
I guess it's also just like the whole thing of like, I'm obsessed with this story, but maybe I'm so obsessed with this story that I won't realize that no one else will ever give a shit about it. Like, I'm the only person who finds this interesting.
Well, maybe it doesn't matter. As long as you're obsessed with it, Yeah. It's the same with making music, because I put so much time into making music, and then you're like, well, like you end up going, like, am I just making this for myself? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. Like, not just the the finished thing, but the whole process is somehow
Mm-hmm.
I can't not do it. So I'm just not. I'm gonna have to do it, kind of thing. It's like I given up like trying to think why. Now it's just I just have to do this. It's strange, like putting an idea of success on it. It's like, well, no, it's just something you do because that's your thing. It's the thing
I guess it's also like a thing of like, I really want this to be the way I can make a living.
Yeah.
So, like I want that freedom that you get from being a writer.
Yeah.
You know. And it seems so fun being like, I almost feel like being a writer is the best way to be famous, because most people will never, like, even if they've read your book a million times, they probably won't recognize you. So you get all the prestige of being able to say, I am J.K. Rowling, but then no one bothers you. It's great.
That's true. Yeah, she can still, well, J.K. Rowling's still pretty famous by Facebook.
Maybe J.K. Rowling, but like, I don't know, Stephen King or something. You might not necessarily recognize Stephen King if you saw him walking down the street. Yeah,
true, especially in UK or something, or Tibet. I don't know. Yeah, he got a lot more freedom than Michael Jackson.
And like, I don't know. Yeah, if you saw Michael Jackson, you'd be like, oh my god, that's Michael Jackson. Like,
well, I would freak out now, considering he's meant to be dead.
Especially now. It'd be like, I don't know, seeing Justin Bieber on the street. Like, no one would leave Justin Bieber alone, but most people wouldn't bother Stephen King.
Yeah, true. That's a good way to be famous, because that musician kind of famous is scary. You know, it kind of changes you, and then it changes what you do as a musician. Yeah, but I think it's quite a lot of freedom in being a writer, and not only that, is you can write anywhere in the world. You know, musician, you eventually have to turn up to either to your bandmates or to your studio or something. But I love the idea of sitting on an island and just writing somewhere. Yeah, I think that's my sort of romantic dream when I'm an old man, is when I can't chase kids around anymore, I'll I'll be a writer, you know, when I can't play anymore. Buy a little cottage in
Such a weird
Scotland.
industry, though.
What, writing?
It's so hard to make money in that industry.
Yeah.
Like, the only people who make any money are the people who are on the bestseller list.
Right. So it's the same as musicians.
Like, how it works, like, basically, it's like, because if you first need to get your agent, and then your agent needs to sell a book to a publisher. And I think the average, and then when they buy your book, they give you an advance on the royalties. I think the average advance these days is something like 10 grand, which sounds good, but that's paying for all the time you wrote, you know, the countless hours you have spent writing that book. And then you only ever make more money once they've earned back your advance. And then with the royalties, I think you only earn 10% of every book sale.
That's lame.
So like, if like my book is selling for like £8, which is sort of like the standard paperback, I'll be getting 80p.
Yeah, it's a lot of books you got to shift.
Yeah,
it's a bad deal. That's almost as bad as Spotify. Yeah, that's, you know, not a good deal.
Yeah,
but then, you know, still it doesn't put you off because you're still doing it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna do it anyway, but I'd really like to be able to make a living out of that.
Maybe
like,
there's
imagine never having to work like a real work day.
Maybe there's that. We're doing this.
Whatever you want all the time.
The outdoor living bit's quite a good way to do it, because especially if you're a seasonal worker like the Bushcraft thing, you can.
Yeah.
If you're clever, and I don't know if anyone was at Bushcraft, you can save enough.
Clever people?
You can save enough to not work over winter, and I don't know if anyone actually really did that. But the idea is kind of there. Yeah, I didn't do that.
That's what I should have done.
Yeah, I went straight to another job. That was not.
It's like with Bushcraft, because it was always during my like summer holidays from school or uni or whatever. So I was always very sort of relaxed with getting camps. Like if I only had like, I don't know, 14 days work, I'll just be like, fine. Like I want to just chill out in the woods.
Yeah,
you know?
nice.
I feel like now it's like I need to make money. It's not even a want. I like need to start making a living by this point.
Oh, people
so it's like
people are going to be really desperate this year. All the people who didn't get a season last year, they're like, give me camps.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in the office.
Give me all the camps. Yeah, because it's like this far, I don't think I've never made enough money to like really live off like like with my au pair work, like, I mean, it was decent because, you know, they accommodate me. I can eat whatever's in their kitchen. But that by the end of it, was like, if I was still there, like by the end of my like 8 months there, I would have made about the same I would make in a season, not even in a month at Bushcraft.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's not real money. Like, it's good. Like, it's enough to sort of like have a social life, but it's not enough to save for anything really.
Yeah, I remember like really grafting to beg for camps at Bushcraft, trying to be like super friendly to the office and how are you doing? How's your day? Hope you're having a good time. Give me some camps. Give me some camps.
Give me camps. Give me all the camps.
Do anything.
5 days.
And I was so
5 days every week.
I got like 5-day camps for almost the whole season. I was so lucky with it.
Oh, I love 5 days. 5 days are the best ones.
They were the best. And I don't want to do anything less. But money-wise, like, yeah, it would be nice to like work, half a year and take half a year off. I'm in the worst place to do that right now. I only earn less than €1,000 a month, which is still the best wage I've ever earned in Lithuania. But still, it's not like you're gonna buy a castle with this.
Buy a castle.
Buys the experience.
Actually, to be fair, my friend, one of my friends in Rome, showed me this Instagram account, which is really, really cheap properties over Europe. So you can get like these really cute little farmhouses for like 50 grand. Yeah,
well, actually saying that, it's kind of relative here. You earn less, but then you can get more. Like I was looking at, I didn't buy it, but there was a house for sale for €200. Like this, okay.
200, no 1,000, just 200.
It was a shitty house. Like it.
That's insane.
It was like a tiny house kind of thing. Like you could have everything would be in one room, and then you have a bedroom on top. It was like a little a house thing, and but it was like a wooden house, needed everything doing, plumbing putting in, new electric putting in and stuff. But it was so small that you could probably put it on a lorry and move it. So the idea was to buy it, pick it up, move it. So like if you think like that, then you can live in quite a cool way.
That's like when I settle down, what I really want to do is I want to start a homestead, but I also want to just buy like an old, like destroyed house and completely renovate it. So I feel like that would be so much fun.
Yeah, you could buy one from here. There's plenty of them around. just rebuild it in England.
Settle in Lithuania.
Yeah, there's the weird thing here is like so much space that there's either abandoned houses or like little ones like this that you can build or just get some land and build.
You could be like that guy from Up. You could just get a bunch of balloons and attach it and just have like a little adventure.
I'd love to try that.
Up in the sky.
Yeah, I need my home to be on wheels though. That's the next best thing, I guess. The floating house. But for now, I kind of need that. This feeling of like I need to move. I need to somehow move, even if it's in one country. But,
especially after this last year.
Yeah. So my lease is coming up end of April. It will end, so I got to make that decision. Like, will I go for a wild life now or get another rental place? And I don't think I ever want to rent again. I might make that decision. Just like, nope.
Yeah.
It's time to start.
I don't think anyone really wins with renting.
The guys who own the place.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to renters, I feel like you're always losing. It's never a good deal. It
doesn't feel nice. No, and it's the first time I've done it in years. Like I used to own a place, and now I'm renting. It feels like gross feeling.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I'd rather live in a tent than rent because it's going to be beautiful waking up to the forest.
Yeah. That's why I really miss those days on camp where you'd be sleeping under the yard and you open your eyes and you're just right there in the middle of all the trees.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Nice memories of that. Like, especially I used to enjoy being the first one awake.
No, I was about to say, I loved it when you were the first one awake because you'd usually get the fire going.
Oh yeah, I used to enjoy doing that, just getting the thing going.
I remember just waiting because I remember there'd be like cold mornings where I'd be on camp and just be like, I'm just going to wait for Pete to make the fire and then I'll get out.
It just dawned on me that probably everyone was doing that. I won't get up. Pete will get up. I probably would, yeah. I'd do that. And then get the coffee on and do that. It was just nice being like, oh, it's the best when you were the first awake and then no one else was awake and I'd already had a coffee on. And it was just you and there's always a couple kids.
No, I remember the first time I worked with you. It was after first day in camp, we'd been on shelter duty. And I was still in my sleeping bag because I couldn't be asked to get up yet. And then you just turn up with a cup of tea and left it next to me. And I was like, this guy's my new favorite. I'm going to like working with this one.
Yeah, it's the small things go a long way. A cup of tea can save the day. Yeah. I got amazing memories of like, I used to enjoy sleeping with no tent, just lying under a tree, just get the roll mat out and sleep and wake up and you're like, wow, I can just see the forest. That's nice. Yeah, that's why it was nice going back to where did I go? I didn't sleep at Cornbury, but I slept at, where's the other place? Blenheim. Yeah. And waking up like alone in the forest. I never did that before. That was a cool experience. No one's there to bug you. No kids are there to be like, I miss home.
I hate it when they wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was one of those things I didn't get up for. I'd like open my eye a little bit, like, Gregor will sort this one out.
No, it's literally a case of like, if I was the one who woke up, I would only like, if it was something that required me getting out of my bag, I'd be like, someone help. I was like, I refuse to be I'm such an arsehole for being like this. I was like, I do not want to be the one to get out of my sleeping bag.
I confess I was the same. I would pretend to be asleep to
See, I've never pretended to be asleep.
Because I could hear them coming and I'd be like, someone else will get this one. Someone else will wake up. And because you knew that it depended where you were in the circle of the yurt, like where the kid would come up to you.
You need to be clever with where you position yourself.
Oh yeah,
I'm always very sneaky. Yeah.
Because the one who's closest to the tents gets woken up first, probably. So I'd be there like going, no, wake someone else. But sometimes then guilt would get me, and I'm like, okay, it's me this time.
I remember it was on my very first camp, my very first night working a job, and this kid came and woke me up. And I was like, okay, what's wrong? What do you need? And he was like, I want to go to the toilet, but I'm scared to go. And I'm just like, did you wake your buddy? No, go wake your buddy. And then I just went back to our tent and woke their body. And it was just like, you didn't need to do that. We tell you so many times what to do.
I have funny memories of like kids being homesick and coming and sitting by the campfire, and Leo would be there, and Leo would just like tell the most boring story until they were like either really just they'd rather be homesick in their tent than be bored to death listening to this story about tiling a bathroom or something.
It was always fun boring kids when you need to.
Yeah, they did well though, like to stay away from home for that many days. But, yeah, it's pretty brave. Yeah.
There's definitely sometimes kids who specifically wake up in the night because they want that little extra attention though. Do
you think? Yeah, probably.
Do you notice that? Yeah.
Hang out with the camp leaders, like hang out with the the adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they hang around a little bit longer.
That's when it's really good to bore them. Yeah. Yeah. That's when it's good to be really boring.
Yeah. Because that's the only
no
time
longer cool to hang out with.
And it's the only time we get as like freedom for the whole day. Yeah. It's like 11 at night and you've had no time.
And even
then
it's you only really get like 10 minutes of freedom because you just want to go to sleep by that point.
Mm-hmm. But it's a nice feeling that I remember that's something I miss as well. Like not just waking up, but that sleeping by the campfire thing is quite a peaceful feeling. Yeah, once you've been to Bushcraft, it's going to stay with you, I think, for life. Yeah. Yeah, lucky experience, I think, for me to found it. It's quite a random one. So,
How did you find it?
I was, what was I doing? So I was again like chefing, and being chef has always became that fallback thing. I'm like, I gotta not be a chef anymore. I gotta stop doing being a chef. So I was looking around for outdoor jobs, and just ringing around all kinds of things like. Kayak instructors, climbing instructors, but everything needed a qualification. It's kind of obviously. So I was looking at like mountain leadership courses, but everything like took so long. And then somehow, I guess a Google search just stumbled across Bushcraft company, and I was in Bristol at the time, and probably the recruitment page for Bristol popped up or something. And then obviously the bit that was like no qualification needed was the bit that got me interested. And I remember when I got through the assessment day and I got picked, I was like, wow, I can't believe I got picked. Obviously, it's kind of easy to get picked. I didn't realize it was easy to get picked, but I was super excited about it at the time, kind of naive, thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I got picked.
I feel like
no experience.
I almost feel like the selection process is a bit like self-removal. Like, I feel like the assessment day is really just to figure out like if you are like a decent human being.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's all the assessment day is really about. It's just like, can you be a nice person to other people?
That's
and
all
if
it
you
is,
pass that test, you get invited to training. And then there's just like, usually if you can't do the training, you usually just remove yourself from the process.
Yeah, if you can't make it through the training and you can't, if you're a weirdo at assessment, then you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can't do much wrong. I guess the only point that's worth it in the assessment is like, can you go along with something that's kind of a bit silly and not feel weird, and then can you do that presentation like about can you talk as a human being? And that's kind of it.
On my training, we did have someone get sent home mid-training though.
Wow, what did they?
They kept making inappropriate jokes. And it's just like, it was just like, there's a point where it's just like, you're applying for a job to be with kids, like, sure, we're going to have like little giggle over something not child friendly every now and again, but this guy's like constantly at it, and it was just like, you're applying for a job, guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a fairly casual job, but like,
well, I kind of forgot
like,
that
a time and a place.
We're working with kids at some point, because that whole assessment process, there's nothing that prepares you for that moment where the kids are coming through the forest. So yeah, it was weird to suddenly be. That's when I had that realization when I was actually on camp. Oh my God, this job isn't just being in a forest. It's like you work with kids as well. Yeah.
I do always find that moment terrifying when you're first hearing the kids arrive through the trees, and it's like that 5 minutes where you can hear them getting closer and closer, because it's just like, please be nice, kids.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get until they get there.
Yeah.
So just like, please be nice.
Yeah, but it's so nice when you're with like super good teammates who can like take that first yurt full of kids and like, I like to kind of step back.
I like sussing them out before doing anything.
I don't like jumping in and going, here's a stick, and play this magic game.
I love the stick game. The stick game's my favorite, I think.
I haven't tried playing that here. Yeah. That's kind of hard to describe to foreign children.
I tried doing it with the kids in Rome, and I just did not understand what was going on. So I was like, okay, never mind.
Oh, I taught them ninja though. I think we talked about that, like ninja in Rome.
Yes.
Ninja's a good one because you can show it's quite easy. And
yeah. I was our friends one night, and everyone was drunk on limoncello, and we were playing ninja under the Colosseum.
Amazing.
Which was like the most Roman thing.
Like Gladiator 2, pretty much.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, spread that bushcrafty vibe around the world. Yeah.
I taught from weasels that night as well.
Yeah? Oh, well, it spread to Rome then. That's good.
It spread to Rome, yeah. So I've taken it both to Bali and Rome by this point.
Oh shit, you went to Bali as well.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I knew that you went to
Bali. Because I was during that season.
That was during the season?
I disappeared. Yeah, I disappeared for a couple of weeks. I went to Bali.
That's crazy. Like mid-season, you still managed to get a trip across the world in.
Well, it's the only time I had off from uni.
It's mad. That's how committed you are to traveling, though. It takes quite a lot of effort, at least in my mind, to travel. But I guess you've done it so much, it doesn't seem like a difficult thing. You just buy the ticket, pack a bag, and go.
And to be fair, I spend like a lot of like weekends in shack, because you know how like people only really emerge from their tents like around noon on the weekends.
Yeah,
so I usually just spend like that morning down in the shack, like researching hotels, making lists of things I wanted to do.
Ah, that's clever. It's clever to not drink.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, that was the last time I was hungover. I think last time I had a drink was at Bushcraft, because I think probably it was the last time, waking up in a tent hungover is a shitty experience. There's no bathroom anywhere near you either. And I like being hungover in private as well. And it's not like you got to like somehow get dressed, can't stand up, find some clothes, do that walk of shame from your tent to the bathroom without speaking to anyone. Yeah, difficult. So yeah, that's how you travel, right? To it's good that you had that in your mind, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think weirdly, this is how different you and I were thinking. In my time off, I was arranging a job for winter. Or I think I even went to work a few shifts, like, for the jobs I was going to get. So it was really like, I was thinking all practical instead of fun. But yeah, traveling hasn't really caught me yet. Like,
go to India. It'll catch you. And actually, to be fair,
yeah.
India is Marmite in a country. Like, it's either people absolutely hate India or it's your favorite country. There's no in between when it comes to India.
I'm not sure. I in my life, I quite like organization and order.
Go to Japan. Japan might be your country.
But I think maybe in that way, India would be better for me because to be immersed in something it would be more exciting.
To be fair, I'm definitely going next year for Holi because Holi's going to be on my birthday.
What happens at Holi?
That's a festival of, that's like this, it's where they celebrate the beginning of spring. It's one where they throw like powdered paint at everyone.
Ah, this one.
Yeah.
That's a good way to spend a birthday.
Yeah.
So cool. And nice you got that. I'm going to definitely do that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, hopefully COVID's at least gone enough for me to go to India by that point.
Well, it better be. I mean, like, there's vaccines going on now. So yeah, should be. I hope that if the season gets cancelled, it doesn't become too heartbreaking. Because now it's like seeming even more possible than ever. I think it'd be really hard to like not do it. But then that's why it's good to have like a travel plan later on. Yeah. I'm hearing that plan and I'm like, I would like to be able to think like that and have a plan, but for some reason I'm thinking of vans and conversions and staying still.
But the other thing I really want to do is the rickshaw run in India.
Yeah.
Which is this challenge, which is insane, and people have died doing it. It's where you get given a tuk-tuk and you can deck it out, you can like paint it, do whatever you want with it. And then it's a race from one side of India to the other side. And there's like thousands of people take part. And you have to get from one side of India to the other in a tuk-tuk, which break down all the time and cannot go very fast.
Yeah, people like, I just got this image of people like bumper carring each other as they go.
Like that, yeah.
Like super crazy.
Yeah.
Can you choose whichever route you want? Or is it like a racetrack?
You've got a start destination and you've got the end destination. Anything else in between is up to you.
Oh, that's so cool. But like is it like the Mongol rally?
Yes, it's basically that, but India.
In a tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
You should do it, but don't kill yourself falling off it.
I would never go alone, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be a good idea to do that challenge as a woman by yourself. Most people do it in teams of 3.
You got to camp as well.
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
Or people just switch over and try and sleep in the back or something.
I mean, no, because you I think most people go to hostels or hotels or whatever to spend the night. But yeah, I think you could.
That's a mad idea. You just want to do it for the madness or the wildness of this experience? I mean,
just imagine how crazy it must be.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how many things would go wrong. Like, these things break down all the time. Like, I've heard people have their tuk-tuks break down like 200 times over the course of a race. And it's meant to be like a 2-week race. Yeah,
probably not going to win if it breaks down 200 times. But you'd have a hell of a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah. But it is very dangerous. Some people have ended up in very bad situations. So if I do it, I definitely like think a lot about like which routes you take, because there's some places in India which are much more dangerous than others.
Yeah. But you would definitely see some parts of India that you would never ever see.
Yeah.
Where you see like, the whole country, you cross the whole country. Yeah. It's a cool way to do it. That sounds pretty reckless.
Yeah. It's madness. It shouldn't be legal.
What do your parents, I can't remember, like, what does your family think of you?
I think they think I'm slightly crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does anyone travel as much as you and your family?
No one travels.
No. Just you got the okay.
Just me.
You got the you're wild enough for everyone. That's so cool. I don't know. I think you got an awesome life. How you're living it is. How you're living it is super awesome. It really is.
I feel like I've completely like wasted my life away because it's like I basically spent all of it in education. I dropped out last December, and then suddenly the pandemic happened, and everything's been shut down ever since, and I haven't been able to do a single thing really.
Yeah, but it's not like but the things that you have done are really awesome, and it's like education isn't the thing that makes life awesome. It's like the traveling you've done and the bushcraft experience, all that love that you've got from that, and then all the writing you do, like creativity, like that's the stuff that makes like an awesome life. Like for me, like I've never really followed, I got educated to do that kind of silly job making arms, and then eventually I realized that just having fun and following that thing that makes you happy is like that's the success thing. And so don't be hard on yourself. Life does sound awesome for you. It's like
I guess it's just like, especially with like this pandemic, like I'm scared of how it looks on my CV to have like dropped out and then essentially do not a whole lot for a year. And I know like the pandemic is a part of that and everyone's going to have that to some extent.
Yeah.
But it's also just like, it's been like nearly 2 years since I've had a paycheck. Yeah, but
so many people are going to be like, especially people working in that outdoor industry, like that's going to understandable. But then you've got that experience of so many years of bushcraft, as you say, like that's something to take forward. But at least you're not in a job you don't like doing, and you've got travel to look forward to, and you've got like this kind of crazy intense story in your head. That's super cool that you're just sitting on this story. That's amazing. Exciting thing. That gift you can eventually give to the world. Yeah, it's a cool place. I think it's a cool place to be in. I guess you're in that I kind of feel how you might a little bit in like when I wasn't working here, I was thinking, oh God, I don't want to do what I'm doing anymore, like chefing, and how am I going to get out? I haven't got a home to live in properly. And it was like, couldn't see a way out of the pandemic kind of situation. But then it will, as soon as you're like in the forest and you're singing around
if we get to the forest
fire again, it'll be awesome.
And I guess it's also just a whole thing of like pandemic has gone on for so long now, it's almost impossible to think of like it not being a pandemic anymore.
Yeah, and how do you make plans? Like a friend of mine wants to go live in Japan, and he's been having to wait now for like a year and a half.
That's why I was hoping that because when I've like in the beginning we thought it was just gonna be like a month or whatever of like the pandemic. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the season and I'm gonna go do the do like the winter in Japan and do a working holiday visa and just go do a bunch of workaways and that sort of thing. But nope.
Yeah, I was the same, completely naive. I just kept like turning up to work thinking that's gonna pass over.
It's fine.
Yeah, and then I go home and it's like, oh cool, I can go home for like have some time off. And then it's
holiday.
Like, oh, shit, this is too much time off. I don't know what to do anymore.
So that's the thing, like I feel like I've been slightly mad because now it's like I've been in London for 3 months now. When it's just like I'm supposed to be in Rome right now. I'm supposed to be having fun and doing things, but I barely left my room for like 3 months.
Oh, it's the same in Bath. Like I was waiting I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be in Lithuania now.
Yeah.
And same, I was in like one studio room, and I feel like, it was horrible. Like having made a plan that was like passing by because everyone was like, oh no, I'm gonna lose my position, getting really scared. But it'll pass. But being in London's probably not making it easier.
Yeah. So that's the thing, it's like you can't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you can't go out into the countryside or anything. Even if you could, I can't drive. So it's really just like going around the same back streets.
Bring on the season, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what a tree looks like.
It'll be like super exciting season because everyone who's missed it will be like really missing it.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite crazy. The mood might be
It's going to be weird being around lots of people again. That's going to be really weird, I think.
But, yeah, I just had that because I had 6 weeks off being injured, and then being back around people was like, spent a couple of days not just kind of looking around like, how do I talk to people?
So much is going on.
So intense, I can't keep up. Yeah, so I kind of freaked out. But yeah.
Especially with like the training, like there's going to be so many new people as well. It's just going to be like, who are all these strangers? I have not seen a stranger in a very long time.
Yeah. You were saying like you were worried, or you said you didn't think you'd have much to talk about? But you talked about loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff. It was easy. That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing. I hope long may it continue.
I was planning on just casually fading. This was the last you'd ever hear from me again. Disappear.
Well, that sounds quite rock and roll.
Just delete my Facebook account and it's like I never existed.
Yeah, but I would trust you're like in some mountain in Thailand writing a novel. So I'd be like, that's cool. I understand.
All right.
We'll take it easy, Susanna.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.